This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it. What's going on, guys? So, in this video, what I want to talk about is, I guess human personalities, right? Because for me being observant, I've observed that there are like personalities that like certain humans have. But it's like, I also realize that a personality is just a collective of what's happened to you, basically. You know, and there is the shit that's happened to you that molds you into something. And then there's also that something that was there when you were born, right? Because when you're born, every child's different. You know, every child has a different personality before it even starts to get programming in its mind. So that core, you know, person, I guess you are, is always there. But we get a bunch of collective bullshit that's like put on our mind from society, you know? From the way we think, to what we want to learn, to what we want to be, to what we want to do. None of it's really our thoughts. You know, it's not really, and I guess some people do think from their thoughts and their ideas, have their own, think for themselves and do what they feel, not just what they've heard. But the issue is that I honestly think that it's like, this is the way society's trying to mold the world. They want to mold the world into idiocracy, because it's so easy to control a bunch of idiots, and it's so hard to control somebody who knows knowledge, who contains knowledge, because knowledge is power. It always has been, it always will be. Knowledge is the most power. You know, there's a lot of rich people that search out billions and millions of dollars for power. And then they try to, you know, buy things and start to own networks and own this and own that for power. But it's like, the greatest power, though, is really knowledge. Much more powerful than money, because most of the people that have millions have it because they have the real power, which is knowledge. Knowledge is just something that, you know, it's funny because nowadays it's starting to become a trend, which I guess is a good thing, but it's not really, where it's like, slowly but surely it's starting to become a trend to be woke. And the definition of being woke will definitely evolve and change as time goes on, because the more woke, you know, these teenage kids get nowadays, the more I feel like society will start to wake up as a whole, you know, because now when people say they're woke, they just found out that the government's been fucking, you know, is twisted. The government's fucked up. They're doing us wrong. They don't care about us, you know. And then they say they're woke because they know that now. And it's like, that's common knowledge. Of course the government's fucked up. You know, of course they are. They've always been. They always will. You know, it's just the way it is. That doesn't mean you're woke, though. You know, wake up yourself. Just because you know some things doesn't mean, you know, because knowledge is, there's a difference also, where I definitely think knowledge is power, but wisdom outdoes knowledge. You know, wisdom is on another level. It's difference. You know, wisdom is being humble about your knowing, not just, you know, not being arrogant about your knowing, you know. And there's a lot of, you know, people with a lot of knowledge that kind of look down upon people who don't have knowledge. And people, you know, everyone's situation is different, which is why we're all different, which is why everyone has different personalities, which is why everyone has different traits. But these traits, you know, all trace down, if you can take away the things that have happened to you, take away your trauma, take away your dad being a drunk alcoholic, take away your dad not being there, take away your mom beating you, take away all that shit that happened to you, you know, your parents not being there. Because I've heard a lot of stories. I know a lot of people, and you know, I'm very observant with reality. So when people are telling me stories, you know, I'm definitely listening. And I just observe that that's why people become the way they are, because of the things that's happened to them. But before anything happened to you, before anything bad happened to you, you were something. You had a personality. When you came out of your mother, you had a personality. You had, traits to you. Each baby has a different personality. So I really think that because each baby has a different personality, that's for a reason, because we're each different parts of the whole. We are one. We are the same consciousness, that same being, the universe. We are the universe, but we are different parts of the universe. So therefore we have different traits, different personalities. And that's what makes us us. Not your name, but you, the real you. The you, if you stripped away your human qualities. And I think the issue is society's trying to mold us into something. And I don't know if it's society. I don't know if it's some rich asshole that got too rich and powerful and started, controlling the masses and started changing things. I don't know if it's just one rich asshole or a bunch of just people that decided to, got too much power, and the ego started to grow too much in them. And so now we have, society the way it is, because as easy as it is to dumb somebody down, should be as easy as it is to make someone intelligent, to give them knowledge, to educate them. Because, science knows a lot more than they're telling us. There are some things that some scientists know that they are not allowed to speak of. Same thing, there's a reason why, in the government, there's like levels to this shit, right? Where it's like, you could be a worker at the government, be right here in the FBI, but there's like 10 guys above you, and you don't even have access. If you're the guy down here, you don't even have access to the guy up here, or the knowledge up here, the knowledge up here, the knowledge up here. It's like everything works in secrets, and it should not be like that. Knowledge should be free to everyone, because the only reason society's going the way it is, the only reason women are twerking nowadays and degrading themselves, and I don't mean to whatever, because some people disagree, but I completely, from having a daughter, it's like I do not agree with the twerking era. I do not agree with the way society is going, with the way media and TV like portrays women, and society kind of portrays women. And it's funny because the society is so good at what they fucking do, that they're so good at brainwashing, that because their brainwashing has been going on for so long, in the beginning, I'll take my grandma for example. My grandma grew up in an era where women were, it was hard for women back then, but at the same time, they kind of respected themselves, It was a different era, obviously, but there's some traits from that era that we should have kept, and some of them that we should have got rid of. Like, the whole stereotype that women belong in the kitchen and all that. That's just because the stigma, because we live in a male-dominant society, and men are too ego-driven to run this goddamn society right now. Until men shed their fucking ego, I think they need to step down. Just for a brief moment here, and we need to work together and realize that we're only where we're at because of where we were. So like, pay attention. People don't pay attention. That's the issue. People do not pay attention to reality. People aren't observant. We have to be observant. We have to pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention, because especially if you're a parent, pay attention to what society's trying to mold your children into. And it's hard as fuck to stop it. It's harder to stop it when they're young. I guess it's easier, but at the same time, society, creeps into kids when they're young, because they go to school, and it's in the schools, it's in this, it's in that, it's everywhere. Society, I was even talking to my friend Fi about how stores nowadays, all they really sell for female in stores now are leggings, and that's really all they sell if you really pay attention, and it's just the way society is trying to sexualize women. And I guess women are beautiful creatures, but women are beautiful creatures without having to sexualize them, but men are beautiful creatures as well, but women are just a different type of, cut from a different cloth, and we all are, but we are all we're all different because we're all different parts of the one, but we're all still that one. So the quicker we can see what's really going on, the quicker we can change it. Because I definitely feel like there is a big mass awakening going on, and it's, at the same time there's a big mass awakening going on. If you take yourself out of the spiritual, psychedelic, weed tube, whatever type of community you're in, most of those type of communities on YouTube and all that, we're set on positive vibes and like connecting with each other. But take yourself out of that, out of your friend zone for a second or whatever, and then pay attention to what other people are doing. Like, go walk down the street and look at all these people just staring at their phones. Look at these people just stuck in reality. Nobody really realizes what the trap that they're stuck in. The trap that society has kind of molded for us to become. But the thing is, though, the one thing that I really love is that nothing lasts forever. So, meaning, we're all gonna die one day. Bluntly honest truth. And the people in control right now, they're gonna die one day. So their children are gonna have to take over. Now, eventually, the cycle will stop where one of their kids will wake the fuck up and then realize, yeah, my fucking grandfather was a fucking asshole. I'm gonna change shit, Things will change. Things will get better. It's only a matter of time, because time exists here in the physical reality, and that is it. So, because we're stuck right now in time, we can't see the future. We can't see the definite future. There are some people that claim they can, but take it from somebody like I meditate on the future and what the future will be like, and for me it's like more of a variables. There's possibilities that the future always changes because everything we do, every action, free will changes the future. So I think the more knowledge we have, the better we are, and knowledge is power. Remember, knowledge is power. If nobody taught you, it is up to you to teach yourself. So the knowledge is available. And I really just wish that people would use it more, And like I said, there is a mass awakening going on, so people are using it more. But don't get caught up in, society's game. Once you realize that they're playing a game and all of us are just pawns in their game, then you have to make that decision to say fuck that and leave that society game. Leave that game, create your own game. But you create your own game by playing their game, beat their game, then you make your own game. That's how you beat the system. And I really think that we can do this, because it's going to happen. What's funny is technology's evolving and artificial intelligence is evolving. And I used to be a little fearful of technology and artificial intelligence and robots, mainly because of The Matrix and movies like that, But I'm starting to look more positive towards artificial intelligence, because, yeah, at one point they'll probably get hard for us to control, but at one point they might just be hard for us to control because the monkeys are trying to control the machines, and you can't do that. You have to evolve your mind, so it's going to force us to evolve. It's going to be a forced evolution. And we're already kind of in a forced evolution. Chaos is breaking out. World War III is, in fear of happening, and all these things that are in fear of happening. And I think that this is happening for a reason. Because you have to destroy what was there. You have to destroy the society that was there, that was brainwashing us, to rebuild a new one on top of it. And so that's just what has to happen. And apparently Mother Nature is kind of helping with that. I think the whole wants to see us all succeed. That's the point. But if nobody's helping the whole, because nobody realizes that there's like this battle of control over your mind going on, and you're losing. You're losing control over your mind. You're losing control over your thoughts. You're losing control over who you are. Because ask yourself, who are you and why do you do the things you do, and why, just ask yourself why. Start asking questions. You'll realize that, we are just only what has happened to us, but we can change that. And once you see that, you can become whatever and whoever you choose to be. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm just in this, deep mood today because, I'm getting ready to, have an experience. So, yeah. So, thank you guys so much. If you want to subscribe, that'd be so amazing. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Thank you so much. Peace, guys.